Well, here we head into the last week of our Marian Consecration, and the focus for this week is Jesus, knowledge of Jesus. We've gone from this time of preparation and purification. We went through a time of knowledge of ourselves and growing in our own self-knowledge, knowledge of Mary, and all of this leads to Jesus. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Everything that we've been doing is leading us into a deeper relationship with Jesus. And I was thinking about a professor we had in seminary for Christology, which is the study of Jesus as human and divine nature. How much did he know, his knowledge, every kind of touching on as much as we can study and know about Jesus. And I remember 2 years after I had that class, this professor passed away. He suffered with cancer and was a very young guy. But I remember being at his funeral and being at the funeral and being surrounded by all of these different people from the university, all different students, and my classmates were funeral casket bearers, and thinking about how Father Herzig in this moment knew more about Jesus than all of a lifetime worth of study. And that on this side of heaven, our understanding of Jesus will only be limited. We'll never see it fully. We'll never understand it fully. But we can grow deeper and deeper in our knowledge of Jesus. One analogy I like to use too is that of a fathom. We have the word unfathomable. And fathom is a unit of measurement to measure depth of water. So what would happen is you take a really long rope and you would tie a knot on it every so far. And that was considered, the space between those knots was considered a fathom. So you would loosen out the rope. And if you got to the end of your rope, and you still hadn't touched the bottom, it was unfathomable. So our understanding of Jesus is similar to that. We can know, we can learn, we can study, we can spend a whole lifetime of study, but it will lead us even to our own limits. And that doesn't mean that Jesus is unknowable. It means that we can never exhaust knowing him. Like a friendship that goes on for decades and you still learn more about the person, or a marriage that you're surprised after 50 years to learn some new aspect about them. These give us windows into who Jesus is for us. Jesus, who is infinitely knowable, but ultimately wants us to know him and enter into relationship with him. So as we enter into this last week, we're reminded that one of the ways that we enter into this relationship with him, as we focus on his death and resurrection in some of the days, is through the sacraments. We'll have the opportunity to go to the Sacrament of Reconciliation. You're encouraged to go to the Sacrament of Reconciliation before you make your consecration. And the consecration happens within the context of Mass. What better way to know Jesus than to go to Mass? There's nothing better. We reflect on the Word. We reflect on his presence in our lives. We receive him into our lives. That's the best it gets. Jesus gives us, through his words and sacraments, ways to enter into relationship with him and grow in our knowledge and love of him.